Steven Johnson, Farsighted, How We Make the Decisions That Matter the Most. Embark on a fascinating journey exploring the decision-making process in Farsighted, How We Make the Decisions That Matter the Most by Steven Johnson. This summary provides insights into the complexities of real-life decision-making, the significance of a diversity of perspectives, challenges in predicting the future, and various tools and techniques, like red teams and linear value modeling, that facilitate better decision-making. Dive into the intricacies of loss aversion, the role of cost-benefit analysis, and the unpredictability of future events that impact the choices we make.
Navigating complex decisions. Back in 1776, George Washington faced a full-spectrum decision during the Revolutionary War with numerous factors to consider. Despite making an initial wrong decision due to loss aversion, a common human reasoning error, Washington's quick retreat and undeniable leadership eventually led to the war's victory. This historical example showcases the complexity and challenges of making crucial decisions. During the Revolutionary War in the summer of 1776, George Washington found himself in a difficult situation. The looming attack from the British Navy on New York posed numerous questions, such as identifying suitable landing sites for British ships on New York's coast, the impact of East River currents on troop movements, potential damages to New York's fortifications due to British cannons, and internal American politics that demanded a strong stance against the British. Faced with the complexities of a full-spectrum decision, Washington struggled to determine the best course of action. Unfortunately, his initial choice to defend New York, instead of retreating inland as he should have done, proved to be a mistake. He fell prey to loss aversion, a common human reasoning error where we resist losses despite gains proving to be more beneficial in the long run. Fortunately, Washington possessed the necessary leadership qualities. As his forces began losing, he quickly signaled a retreat. This adaptability and decisiveness played a crucial role in the eventual victory of the Revolutionary War. It is through examples such as this that we can appreciate the challenges and complexity of making difficult decisions, especially in high-stakes situations where multiple factors are at play. Despite our innate tendency to be loss-averse, it is essential to recognize and overcome this bias when making critical choices. As illustrated by Washington's story, leaders must navigate complex decisions and adapt their strategies when necessary, acknowledging the possibility of errors and learning from them to achieve success in the long run. Harnessing diverse perspectives. Traditional hierarchies in governments and corporations often limit decision-making to a select few, but the best decisions frequently emerge from diverse perspectives. A water resource case study in Greater Vancouver highlights how considering multiple viewpoints led to a solution benefiting all. Research supports the notion that diversity bolsters decision-making, resulting in more thorough deliberations and less biased assumptions. Governments and corporations typically operate through hierarchies, with the higher-ups making critical decisions. However, this approach is not always conducive to optimal decision-making. Instead, multifaceted choices often flourish under the guidance of input from various viewpoints. The Greater Vancouver Water Department exemplifies the benefits of taking multiple perspectives into account. Amid a growing population, the department needed to expand its freshwater resources. Various options presented themselves, such as using pre-existing reservoirs, constructing a pipeline to distant lakes, or drilling wells by a nearby river. By soliciting input from local residents, indigenous tribes, environmental organizations, and water security experts, the department eventually reached a decision satisfactory to all parties: an earthquake-resistant pipeline connected to a dam on the Coquitlam River. This case demonstrates how inclusive approaches to problem-solving lead to superior decisions, as the pros and cons of each solution are thoroughly explored. Diversity of perspectives fosters stronger decision-making processes. This notion is bolstered by research conducted by psychologist Samuel Sommer around 2010, which used mock trials to assess juries' decision-making tendencies. The findings revealed that racially diverse juries significantly outperformed ethnically homogeneous juries. Diverse groups demonstrated higher accuracy in recalling case facts, identified a broader range of evidence interpretations, and engaged in lengthier, more in-depth deliberations. Conversely, homogeneous groups tended to make rushed decisions without challenging biased assumptions. Researchers speculate that these findings extend beyond race to include gender and political orientation, though further studies are required to confirm this hypothesis. Mastering the future forecast. Predicting the future is not an easy feat, as humans are inherently poor at making accurate forecasts. In a study conducted by political scientist Philip Tetlock, it was shown that even experts in their respective fields made worse predictions than those without specialized knowledge. The key to better forecasts is to adopt a diverse and holistic approach, considering multiple factors influencing the outcome instead of being confined to a specific area of expertise. Predicting future outcomes may seem like an uphill battle considering humans' track record at guessing what's next. If we could foresee events, such as the rise in real estate prices, decision-making would be significantly easier. However, this is not the case, as research conducted by political scientist Philip Tetlock showed 2 decades ago with his forecasting tournaments. Tetlock focused on pitting participants against each other to anticipate the future of subjects like environmental changes and gender relations within politics and economics. His tournament collected 28,000 predictions which were then measured for accuracy against 2 simple algorithmic forecasts, one projecting no change and the other suggesting change would continue at the current rate. Dishearteningly, human predictions were consistently less accurate than the standard algorithm predicting the continuation of current trends. One might argue that expert predictions would fare better than the average participant, but Tetlock's experiment disproved this notion. Experts in economics and politics actually performed worse than those with no specialized knowledge. So, what set non-experts apart and led them to better forecasting outcomes? The answer lies in their broad perspective. Non-experts considered various influencing factors in their predictions, including technological advancements, education, population growth, and more. While experts remained confined to their own fields, blinded by their narrow views and personal opinions, generalists remained open-minded and reaped the rewards of their diverse approach. For example, economists would lean towards either the collapse of capitalism or explosive growth, while generalists would take a more balanced approach, considering multiple factors at play. Predicting the future remains a complex task, but adopting a holistic viewpoint and entertaining multiple perspectives can improve our forecasting abilities and elevate the decision-making process. Embracing unpredictable futures. We often assume current trends will persist indefinitely, but the truth is, the future teems with chaos and unpredictability. For instance, when George Orwell wrote 1984, he imagined that dictatorial systems would continue dominating, but fortunately, they did not. Our inability to foresee which factors will converge to shape the future is exemplified by the rise of personal computers. Their emergence hinged on the simultaneous convergence of breakthroughs in diverse fields, such as mathematics, robotics, microwave signal processing, and silicon circuits. Predicting the rise of computers would have required knowing the exact developments and innovations in these fields, as well as comprehending how older technologies like radio waves could be repurposed. Ultimately, looking ahead requires embracing the inherent unpredictability of the future and the unforeseeable convergence of various factors. Mastering predictions with red teams. Predicting the future is a challenging endeavor, but utilizing red teams has proven to be an effective technique in decision-making. By constructing a group within an organization to act as the enemy, red teams delve into analyzing the actions the opposition could take. This method has been fundamental in various sectors, including the operation that led to the demise of Osama bin Laden in 2011. The Red Team's insights played a critical role in preparing the U.S. government for possible unexpected events and modifying strategic plans accordingly. Red Teams contribute to enhancing the overall robustness and success of significant missions. As Red Teams gain recognition in predicting the future, organizations have adopted them in critical decision-making processes. These teams act as the enemy of the organization, scrutinizing and challenging strategic plans to identify potential flaws or oversights. For instance, the military can use red teams to evaluate attack plans, simulating the enemy's mindset to explore their possible counteractions. Red teams have demonstrated their effectiveness in various scenarios, most notably in the operation that resulted in Osama bin Laden's death. The American National Counterterrorism Center was devising plans to raid a compound in Pakistan, where they suspected bin Laden was hiding. A red team was assigned to assess the mission and estimated a 50% probability of finding him in the compound. Their participation facilitated better preparation for unanticipated events during the operation. The red team identified potential complications of having unauthorized American Army aircraft crossing Pakistani airspace, leading the U.S. government to strengthen diplomatic relationships with Russia and the Baltic Sea shipping network. These efforts provided an alternate entry and exit route for the covert team, preparing them for possible aggressive reactions from the Pakistani government. Ultimately, the red team's contributions led to a more resilient operation and the successful location of bin Laden within the compound. Uniting powers of cost-benefit analysis. Ronald Reagan, a conservative figure, advocated for the use of cost-benefit analysis in decision-making, a practice that garnered bipartisan support. Reagan's executive order in 1981 mandated a comprehensive examination of benefits and costs for new regulations, transcending simple monetary evaluations. This approach proved beneficial in the field of environmental protection. The Obama administration utilized cost-benefit analysis to assess the societal costs of carbon dioxide emissions. Experts from various governmental departments collaborated to determine the long-term consequences of carbon release, ultimately establishing a social cost of $36 per ton. Although some considered this value underestimated, it marked a crucial step towards incorporating environmental concerns into U.S. government decision-making processes. The power of cost-benefit analysis. Ronald Reagan's presidency popularized the use of cost-benefit analysis for important decisions, an approach that since played a major role in environmental protection efforts. In 1981, Reagan signed an executive order mandating that every new government regulation needed a cost-benefit assessment. This pivotal step prompted lawmakers to consider potential advantages and drawbacks of regulations, extending beyond financial implications to overall societal impact. As this practice evolved, cost-benefit analysis emerged as a powerful tool for pro-environment policies. Under the Obama administration, experts from various government agencies collaborated to determine the social cost of carbon emissions, factoring in consequences like reduced crop yields, extreme weather, and forced migration due to rising sea levels. The findings established a social cost of $36 per ton of carbon dioxide released, marking the first time the U.S. government monetized environmental expenses. Although some critics deemed the figure too conservative, the calculation signified a crucial milestone in treating environmental matters with the seriousness they deserve in future governmental decisions. Mastering complex decisions. Making tough decisions can be overwhelming, but linear value modeling simplifies the process. By assigning values and likelihoods to various outcomes, it aids in determining the best choice. In fact, this statistical method is on its way to play a crucial role in decision-making for self-driving cars, helping them efficiently avoid fatalities and collisions. In a world filled with complex choices, making decisions can be daunting. Enter linear value modeling, a lifesaver in untangling your options. This statistical method maps potential outcomes by assigning and weighing values based on their importance and likelihood of occurring. Picture yourself deciding whether to tie the knot or not. Factors to consider could be finances, future children, personal freedom, and having a life partner. Assign a value to each, based on the satisfaction of the outcome if you were to marry or remain single. Multiply the importance, on a scale from 0 to 1, where 0 means unimportant and 1 means very important, by the likelihood of each outcome, and voila! The numbers reveal which decision aligns with your values and priorities. Fascinatingly, linear value modeling isn't just for humans, it also benefits machines, particularly self-driving cars. As autonomous vehicles navigate our streets, they'll need to make swift and optimal decisions. Linear value modeling enables them to weigh the merits of different outcomes based on their probability of occurrence. For example, imagine an autonomous car approaching a pedestrian suddenly appearing in a busy road. The car must choose, swerve right and risk hitting the pedestrian, or swerve left, potentially colliding with another vehicle. Linear value modeling helps the car prioritize outcomes, placing a greater weight on avoiding a fatal pedestrian crash while considering a lesser impact collision as less detrimental. This quick decision-making is vital for the future of self-driving cars. So, whether you're planning your future or designing the vehicles of tomorrow, remember that linear value modeling is your trusted ally in clearing the haze of complex decision-making.
In conclusion, Farsighted unravels the convoluted world of decision-making and offers strategies to improve the process. While hindsight often reveals how we could have made better choices, adopting a broader approach and taking diverse perspectives into account can significantly enhance decision quality. At the same time, acknowledging the uncertainties of the future and preparing for unpredictability is vital. By adopting techniques like cost-benefit analysis, red teams, and linear value modeling, both individuals and organizations can navigate the decision-making process more effectively and make choices that lead to better outcomes.